Hello everyone, and welcome to Living by the Law, the podcast discussing fictional worlds and how wondrous and ridiculous they are. My name is Matt, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jude and Guy. Living by the Law is not currently sponsored. If you'd wish to sponsor us, pick up the note on your doorstep. It has your sponsorship offer on it. Go back in time and leave that note on your doorstep so that your past self can give it to us before this episode goes out. Don't worry if your past self ignores it. Just go back in time and leave it on your doorstep again. And again. And again. And again. And again. We will hear you. We always do. Today, we run headfirst into the world of DC Comics, investigating what's so special about the Flash's archenemy, Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash. We all know the Flash is the fastest man alive, but it's time to find out if the Reverse Flash just might be the pettiest man alive. Heads up, this episode contains spoilers for the Flash comics, TV shows, and movies, but may also contain spoilers from the wider DC-related media. Enjoy!
I've discovered something interesting, right?
Go. Mm-hmm. What's up?
So, the part of town where I work, I will not say, for the sake of our international listeners.
And for our local stalkers.
Well, I'm worried about the international listener becoming the local stalker.
I think about the local stalkers every night.
They think about you as well.
Yeah. It's kind of a unique bond we have.
Yeah. It's cute of you to think the stalkers have any interest in you and guys on this podcast.
Aww.
But no, I discovered, so the last couple of days here in sunny old Melbourne, it's not been quite so sunny, and we've had a little bit of rain and storm, and I discovered yesterday there's something when you've got like a storm coming in the evening, the whole afternoon, there's like that palpable sort of tension in the air almost, you know what I mean? Like when there's the
wetness.
The like anxiety wetness that you get before a storm. Where
I know about the wet.
It's coming.
I got curly hair, man. I see that wetness coming from a mile off.
You can feel it coming, and it's just wet.
It's such a wet cum.
And it's anxiety. But anyway, I've discovered that some of the local crackheads in the area near which I work, that pre-storm energy, it gets them going. I had one of them, I was driving to work at like 8 a.m, and I had one of them walk out in front of my car. I nearly hit him because he walked out, just no clue in the world. He was so fucking high off of his mind, and he just looked up to the sky and just started screaming. And I was like, "Hey sir, how you doing?" He wasn't yelling at me. He wasn't yelling at anyone in particular. He was just yelling random shit. And then that sort of behavior continued. I was observing that sort of behavior in people down the street throughout the rest. There's something about the storm. The storm energy just seems to fuel them. I don't know what it is.
Storm-powered crackheads.
Storm-powered crackheads. Exactly.
Can I appreciate how this is the single worst intro to a podcast I've ever listened to in my entire life?
You're so deaf, man. This is the best.
Not only described things people could not know about where we live, you've talked about the most generic, boring conversation starter of all time, the weather. And you've also simultaneously used an allegory of some poor guy who's struggling in life, who just wants to get out of the rain, but the weather's getting worse for him. And you're just
he wasn't
making his life a little worse.
I wasn't talking about a homeless person. I was just talking about someone being high in public. Those are two very different things.
Speaking of goddamn like weird patterns that we have, I've got to say that criticizing our own bits probably isn't doing us any favors in the algorithm.
I know, Matt.
No. This isn't isolated to Matt. We do this every fucking episode. I am so guilty of this. It just occurred to me.
I know. I just wanted to throw Matt under the bus.
I want to appreciate. I am the most yes and person on this podcast. I am the most thrown down.
I disagree so hard on that. You are the biggest dick. You shut down everything. Guy and I Guy and I, we play off of each other.
I want to
like
see
an
the record.
old-
I want the
Podcast issues at
record
the
to
start of
say
this podcast.
every
we're like
time
an
I have
old
a
married
bit.
couple. We got that thing where we finish each other's.
Come.
Every time I make a bit happen, I get shut down. That's why I don't try and yes and. I'm just replaying the energy I get back. But do you know what is like a crazy kind of a person who embroidered
Yeah.
with the power?
Yeah.
Especially
The crackheads need Jude's work.
especially
Guy-
a power
guy
of
during
what
a
you could say.
thunderstorm.
Guy and I helping each other finish our cum.
What you could
Us
say
not letting you finish your bits.
a power of a storm would be the Flash, you know? Barry Allen.
No,
He's got
he managed to get
lightning.
through his intro.
The man who was struck by lightning after that storm hit and was embroidered with powers. After also,
what you're
like,
saying
with
is-
chemicals.
So what he's saying is, it was me, Barry.
Well, today you're going to find out just how much it was me. Everything in your life. Every interaction, every shit podcast interaction, it was me. It was me, Jude. Everything that led you to this point in your life.
You
But-
wish.
Today,
Did anyone ever point out to Barry Allen that lightning isn't that fast?
well, he's pretty fast.
No, but the lightning, like the light is, the lightning bolt isn't though.
Yeah.
Like there's videos of lightning bolts forming where it's like,
I want to
comes
see.
down.
I now need to see Guy dodge a lightning bolt. Dude, that's
No,
not
I
fast.
want to see Barry Allen be turned into the Flash by having a flashlight shone at him because the light is so powerful.
The light is so fast.
Well, getting into it, the Flash, who is kind of what we'll be talking about today, is from what probably most people will recognize, DC Comics. So, we're just going to give a bit of a background on what DC Comics is and where it comes from, and just to give us an intro for today. So, DC Comics is an American comic book publisher that was founded in 1934 under the name National Allied Publications. Is one of the oldest and most well-known.
Are they like trying to copy that Marvel company? They shouldn't bother, honestly.
Yeah, kind of bullshit.
Yes, they were around before Marvel, but yes, it is one of the oldest and most well-known comic book publishers in the world, and its characters and stories have been a major part of popular culture. Over the years, DC Comics has produced thousands of comic books featuring the iconic characters such as Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and of course, The Flash. Not fuck Aquaman, just that fish boy.
Yeah, dude, he's
I
fucking
would.
hot. Have you seen Momoa?
Yeah, you guys would. In addition to its comic book publishing efforts, DC has also expanded into other forms of media. It has produced numerous films such as The Dark Knight, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman, as well as TV shows such as Arrow, The Flash, and Supergirl. DC Comics has also been successful in the video game industry with games like Batman Arkham Asylum, Injustice Gods Among Us, and there's a new game coming out about the Suicide Squad.
Yo, they
really?
They made Among Us.
Yeah, they made
Also-
Among Us.
Also, Arkham Asylum expands into Arkham City, expands into Arkham World. What a goddamn great game series concept! It just keeps getting bigger. DC Arkham Galaxy, go for it.
It's a partner with Mario Galaxy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's great. I would so pay for that shit. That would fucking go so hard.
Batman
Just
running
Batman.
around with Mario.
Yeah, getting the stars.
Yeah.
Overall, DC Comics has had a long and successful history, and its impact on popular culture cannot be overstated. Its characters and stories continue to inspire and entertain audiences around the world. So, that's DC Comics. Everyone knows them. It's The Flash, it's Superman, the Justice League, Batman, Green Lantern, all those guys that basically, the guys you see when you see, when your grandma says, oh, it's the Avengers, and like Batman, it's those characters.
It's when you
he's
go
my favorite
past.
Avenger.
It's when you go past the $2 shop and there's the Avengers in the window, and it's got your classic favorite Avengers: Superman, Batman, Iron Man, and
Sonic.
Wasn't it like a Pikachu in one of those games?
I swear to God, our local milk bar has the fucking funniest sets of
It
those.
literally has Shrek in the Avengers.
It's so good.
Shrek is in the Avengers in our local supermarket.
He
our
fucking
local milk
deserves
bar.
to be, honestly.
It is the best thing of all, and no one buys it because it's like an art history piece in the window.
That shop has literally been sold and purchased again by new owners, and that motherfucking box is still in the window.
I think it's like a time capsule. It can't leave that building.
It's a heritage site at this point.
I think it's stuck to the window at this point. Is my hypothesis. They just can't get rid of it.
It's actually like a brick in time. If you try and remove it, it breaks the universe. It's like things have to be built around it.
That was going to be my next bit. It's load bearing. If you move it, then the whole building comes down.
That would be funny. So today we will be talking about the Flash and simultaneously the Reverse Flash. So,
Oh, God.
before we get into it, other than the particular memes of the Flash and Reverse Flash, what do we, as a collective, know about the Flash? Guy,
I
you go
know
first.
that he goes so fast that he can literally solve any problem by being fast. Because, like, you watch the Batman movies and the Superman movies, and, like, there's a little bit of sort of intelligence game there. Every single solution, Barry Allen is like, damn, tsunami coming? What if I go fast and make a wind wall? Damn, time travel issues? What if I just go fast and go through time? Like, go crazy, but it seems like he's a one-trick character. I have no idea what the Reverse Flash is, though. I think it's something to do with the multiverse, but I don't remember.
He just goes fast the other way. He could only run backwards.
It's like Super Mario 64. If you go backwards, there's no speed cap. You go faster. Programmers of the universe get fucked.
Do you have anything, Jude?
Yeah. Look, he's a strange man that runs fast and is a bit of an awkward nerd, I guess. Is that a consistent thing about Barry Allen's character, that he's a little bit of a dork, or?
I mean, kind of. He's a detective for the police.
Oh, so not even slightly then.
He's a crime
Or is-
scene detective.
Okay.
I mean, comic book writers do seem to have an issue with putting people as nerdy characters and then just making them fucking Sigma Chads every time. Like,
That's true.
Spider-Man's meant to be like a nerdy teenager, and then he's up against 3 bank robbers. He's like, "What's up, guys?" It's like, if the actual nerdy guy was there, like, he'd punch them out, deck them, and be completely silent the entire time, and then run away as fast as possible.
Yeah.
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 But that doesn't make for interesting comic book dialogue, so...
I mean, hey, everyone's a nerd, and then superpowers, get hit by lightning, get bit by a spider, something else happens, and they just get abs. They get abs.
That's true.
Abs are the solution.
Yeah,
That's how
big
you get
difference.
charisma.
Abs give you
Wait, what is
confidence. Once you look down and you see those abs, you can talk to anyone. You know
What's the? Oh no, it's Big Change, isn't it?
what?
The
Oh, big change. Yep, big change. Yeah,
Yep,
from the
Big Change,
Spider-Man 1.
Yep,
Oh, I love the Raimi trilogy. It's so good.
the
I've heard they're
Ramsey
shit. I've only seen the ones with, like, the Amazing Spider-Man.
Hmm.
We've been over
Continuing
this
the
bit
arc
before
of
in the
Guy.
Spider-Man episode.
Continuing the arc of Guy seeing every bad movie and never a good single
But we
movie.
know it's a lie.
Which
we
one
know it's
is
a
on
lie.
Netflix? Which one is on Netflix?
I don't know, and that's what hurts me.
I know you've watched the Tom Holland ones.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. That's not part of the discussion right now.
It is.
Those are good too.
I think all the Spider-Man movies are good, personally.
I think Andrew Garfield was good, but the story wasn't great.
This
Yeah, I think
episode
that's still
is about
decent.
fucking The Flash. Move on.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about Barry Allen. He's a silly man.
I don't know anything about Barry Allen. I know lots about Spider-Man, though.
Well,
favorite.
before we get into it, this will basically... We're not going to really get into the big depths of the character and the powers and stuff like that. We'll touch on them whenever we need an explanation of you guys. If we need like a big explanation. But this will basically give a lot of context for the Flash movie and also for the upcoming Flash movie. If there's rumors right now when we're recording this that the Reverse Flash will be in it. Will come up and but it won't be the same as the comics, especially from the story we've seen from the trailers so far. It won't be the same Reverse Flash in the comics, but it seems like the Flash has similar powers though, especially what we saw in the Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Yeah. So
Yep, I saw that. Did you also watch that one, guy?
I've watched the Snyder Cut.
Yep, same.
and this is why we have an expert and we have a couple dumbasses to listen in.
That's so mean.
It's really kind of you to call me an expert, Matt. Thank you.
No problem, no problem. Hey, I'm the dumbass.
Go on, dumbass. Keep
Two-thirds of the time, everyone's a dumbass. You know what I mean? This podcast makes that perfect.
Just
So,
keep
the
talking.
The Flash, or Barry Allen Flash, as the one we'll be referring to today, is the fastest man alive, as he keeps telling us and keeps being outrun. Who is a speedster, which is a metahuman who taps into a thing called the Speed Force to be able to do incredible feats, including mostly running incredibly fast, but it is not.
You better have incredible feet.
Fuck's sake.
He was running that fast.
So the Speed Force is a cosmic force based around velocity and movement in the DC universe. It powers any movement, whether it is physical movement or through space, or is through the passage of time. So any sort of momentum, any sort of passage, any sort of movement is the Speed Force. So any sort of thing like that, it is based around the Speed Force.
So I'm tapping into the Speed Force right now?
I mean, you're contributing to the Speed Force, and the Speed Force is contributing to you, I guess. But you're not tapping in to increase your speed and gain that power more than a regular person.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
For every like movement in the universe is contributing to the Speed Force, though.
Interesting.
With this force, Barry can complete many feats, including his two he wears, which are including but not limited to creating tornadoes, generating lightning, and time traveling, which will be very important later. The Reverse Flash is the arch nemesis of the Flash. So the first and most well-known Reverse Flash is known as Eobard Thawne. He harnesses the same powers as Barry, but often used through the negative Speed Force, the opposing force of the Speed Force. Basically, as matter has antimatter, the Speed Force has the anti-Speed Force to counterbalance it.
How?
Well,
I'm not going to go into vector physics right now, but like...
Well, it depends. The original origin of the Speed Force and the universe has momentum and speed and stuff like that. But the original thing is that Barry, when he got his powers, he created the Speed Force, right?
Oh, what?
Oh.
The thing is, though, because the Speed Force allows you to travel to time, the Speed Force has always existed and also never existed. And like he created it, yes, but because he can travel time, it's always kind of existed. So there's that. Mm-hmm. He gets his powers from the Speed Force, but also created the Speed Force, if that makes any sense.
So what you're saying is wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff.
Exactly. A similar things happen with
why doesn't every single lightning bolt create the Speed Force?
Because I didn't go deep into the Flash because this isn't really about the Flash this episode, but when he was hit by lightning, he was in a laboratory and he fell into a lot of chemicals. He was hit into a lot of chemicals. So the chemicals that covered his body plus the lightning gave him these powers. It's the classic early superhero thing of if you're not born with it, you are covered in chemicals.
I see.
Okay. No, I that's fine. At least they gave some explanation to why normal lightning bolts don't make the Speed Force.
Yes. It's not anyone hit by lightning.
Yeah.
Sorry, my voice. So he is the anti-Speed Force. Basically, he's the counterbalancer, right? We'll talk about later. Eobard Thawne created the negative Speed Force, but again, the negative Speed Force kind of created him in the same place. So there's kind of that the Speed Force has always been around, but also it directly, if you're taking from what the comics say, the Speed Force was created by these two characters. So, let's get into the next one. Now, before we get started into this episode, this will be an episode entirely around the Reverse Flash and how, in my opinion, he is the ultimate nemesis, the ultimate arch nemesis, and as Barry Allen is the fastest man alive, I'll be naming Thawne, Eobard, as the pettiest man alive. As we'll get in, the depths this man will go to fuck over Barry and every single person who wrongs him in his life.
That's pretty good.
Nice. That's based.
So I want you guys to think about your favorite arch nemesis and how petty they are to that hero. And by the end of the episode, once we've gone through everything the Reverse Flash has done, I'd love to hear your favorite petty nemesises, and we can discuss their similarities or if they conquer the Reverse Flash. So, before we get into this, I'm just going to give you a couple individual powers, like level of power for them. Because there's going to be times in this episode where you go, "That how the fuck could he do that? How the fuck can he do that?" It's comic books for one. They can do whatever they need to do at the time. But this is how ridiculous the Reverse Flash is. Or this is, well, to be fair, this is how ridiculous usually the Flashes, and Reverse Flash has been noted by both Wally, who is the other Flash, and Barry, as being faster than both of them.
So wait, there's Wally and Barry are both the Flashes.
So Wally is the next Flash after Barry. So he
How
was
did the next
originally...
Flash get created?
I actually don't know. I didn't look into how Wally was created, and I don't have it off the top of my head. But
That's fair.
It's probably a similar accident.
Yeah.
There's
Maybe
something's
it wasn't
happened.
an accident. Maybe Barry doused him with chemicals and threw him outside.
He poured it on him, just like, fucking get the Speed Force in you, boy. Just
I
hooked
need
him up
a
some
replacement.
batteries.
I'm too old for this shit.
As he's sitting there tied to the lightning rod, he hears Barry muttering under his breath, "Experiment 248." Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
Everyone that he went through had to have a similar sounding name. He had Larry's, he had Terry's, he had fucking Warry, I don't know.
I imagine, you know, from like Back to the Future where they do the rod to the lightning so they get hit. It's that, but with the hook, it's just Wally stuck to the back of the car and just they're running towards that bolt. At the right time, the lightning hits. He just gets zapped by the
Jesus Christ.
for the bolt. Yeah, it's that. So, some of the feats the Flash has done was beat an instant teleporting god in a race across the universe.
Fuck off.
Outrun death themselves.
Great.
Save 532,000 people from a nuclear explosion in 0.00001 microseconds by evacuating them all from a city. Save everyone from a collapsing apartment building, then went to the library, learned how to rebuild an apartment building, and rebuilt it within seconds.
That one's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
That's a good bit.
Basically, he evacuated them all out, and then one of them asked, "So where are we going to live?" So he went to the library, learned how to build one, and then build it back up.
Because the funny thing to me is that, because there's running really fast, there's sprinting, and there's being able to sprint fast, but being able to just run into the library and speed read so quick.
Well, yeah, because his mind goes so fast that he can just read all this shit.
But I also love like Giga Chad level intelligence where they're not actually that smart. He just has I'd probably be a fucking galactic level intelligence if I could turn a second into like years.
Yeah, this is also true.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I desperately adore, like, man's got to be fucking balls deep in the Speed Force by the time you're like outrunning a nuclear bomb. What? And the teleporting god? What?
Yeah.
Maybe he put a banana peel near the finish line.
Actually,
and slipped on it.
Oh fuck.
He also
I'm going to make
win,
it.
Barry.
I'm going to win. Like the cartoon.
he also beat himself in a race.
How?
He ran
Time
faster
travel,
than
never mind.
himself.
Yeah, time travel, yeah.
Yeah. And also he had so much will that he went faster than time, faster than light, faster than the Speed Force itself.
How?
So
What are you saying? What do you mean?
What does this mean? What are the consequences?
there's one time where basically like antimatter was destroying a planet and he had to go super fast and he had to just keep going faster. And that's the thing. He just can go as fast as he needs to go.
I see.
Again, as Guy said at the start of the episode, he just solves his solutions with speed.
I've got one tool in this box, and by God, am I going to make it work?
Man, he's sounding more and more like the people near where I work. Solves every problem with more speed.
That story at the start is getting more and more relatable as we go. That would have been a great intro. Who else solves their problems with speed? Oh, that would have been a great intro.
If I'd known it was about the Flash, I could have done that.
Well, so let's get into Eobard Thawne. Eobard Thawne. So, Eobard Thawne was a regular person born in the 25th century. He was obsessed with the Flash, dedicated himself to learn everything about him and the Speed Force. Eventually, after working at a Flash museum for a long time, he found a time capsule from the 21st century, which happened to have a Flash costume in it. And he used that and the remnants or whatever radiation was left onto it to experiment and create his own twisted Speed Force, the negative Speed Force. This gave him, and using that Speed Force, he gave himself the powers of his hero that he wanted to be just like. Though there was no opportunities to be a hero in the 20th century. Most problems were solved, and there was not the same level of crime and opposition there is in the 21st century.
Oh, so funny.
He decided to make his own crimes that he could save, or own problems that he could save people from. So he manipulated and created these situations where he could be the hero. Eventually,
Right.
Barry showed up and saw this person dressed as just as himself, saving people. And he took him under his wing and basically went, yeah, you can be my
Prodigy.
prodigy, exactly, and taught him. But eventually, after teaching Thawne for a little bit, he realized Thawne was creating these situations and ended up handing Thawne over to the authorities. Eventually, after going to jail and doing like a bunch of shit like shock therapy and shit like that, pretty horrible thing that still exists in the 25th century.
It's the 25th century. We have no problems with modern crime. However, we still have fucking shock therapy.
Yeah. Gotta love old comics, right?
Oh, God. That was so funny.
Eventually, he was released basically because he was so smart that they were basically like, I can do better in society. I can teach people, right? And that'll be better. So they released him in society again, and he swore to get better and prove himself. So he
Can I take a swing in the dark? Can I guess?
yeah.
He didn't get better.
Well, we'll see. He ended up changing his outfit, the red outfit he was wearing, Barry's old one, to yellow, as it was the colors of the partners of the Flash. Like, for example, Kid Flash wears the yellow outfit, which kind of the opposite. So Barry wears a red outfit, and his Speed Force comes off as yellow, and he wanted to be kind of the reflection of that, like the partners he has.
Fair.
And then he traveled back to the 21st century to like learn from Barry and have a chance to be a real hero. But when he got there, he saw that he was nothing special to Barry. The same words and the same gift that Barry had given to him when he got there, he was teaching and giving to Wally, the new prodigy Barry had taken on. He also saw that Barry was happy and had an entire family to himself, and didn't really need Eobard. Eobard then visited a Flash museum and found out that the Flash's legendary arch nemesis, the one that had been lost through time, the one that had died fighting the Flash, was him. He discovered this, seeing his own destiny in front of him. It kind of broke him. He didn't really see a way out of it, and he kind of distraught that the Flash didn't really accept him and would never accept him. He decided to become the very thing he sought to destroy.
You son of a bitch.
And he became the Reverse Flash. He would inflict the pain both upon Barry and Barry's family until they learned to respect him. So, that is the basic origin of Reverse Flash. We'll be skipping over, there's a bunch of different stories, obviously over the many, like 60, 70, 80 years Reverse Flash has been around. We'll be skipping over very Flash history, don't directly impact this episode, but we will be going part things that will. Are there any comments before we go into the things that Eobard does?
This motherfucker is the most unimaginative guy up until this point. It is so funny to me. He's like, damn, I don't have powers. I want to have powers. Where do I work? The Flash Museum. Let's become the Flash. Okay, I've gone back. Fucking, what are the other partners of the Flash wear? Same costume? Cool, I'll make it. Oh, damn, I'm the villain now? Crazy. What?
I'm gonna make him respect me.
Oh, man. Does he know he's cringe? Like, is he aware?
Is he self-aware? Probably not.
Also, what is... I want to get into the powers, but I know you're not going to know. So
What power questions do you have?
How... Okay, if he followed the same process that Barry did to make the Speed Force, why did he not just re-tap into the Speed Force? Why is there a new Speed Force?
Because
and how do they oppose each other?
He couldn't quite tap into the Speed Force. He ended up using his experiments he tried. He twisted it and kind of like created like a corrupted copy of it. He couldn't tap into the real Speed Force.
Okay.
Why do they oppose each other? Why is there south and north on a magnet? You know what I mean?
But they were made at the same time.
It's a fundamental force of the universe.
But it's not.
it?
One existed without the other.
But that's what I said. Because of time travel, it's always existed.
Oh, fuck, you're right. Damn it. Shit. I've been done in again.
That's why I
here's a
described that
question.
bit at the start. Because, yes, you can say, yes, he is tapping into it. You could say that it always existed, and this is the first time that the negative Speed Force has, like, been able to give powers to someone. You could have that. Because they do kind of retcon this along as we go. So, comics always has a bit of a flimsy canon sometimes. But I always see it as you could do both parts. Either the Speed Force is the first time negative Speed Force has put its powers into someone, or you could say because time travel, it's always existed.
Okay,
Here's a question.
Yes.
So we ended up with the reverse Speed Force because the negative Speed Force, whatever, because the reverse Flash couldn't tap into the Speed Force. What about his proteges? Why does Wally not create his own Speed Force? What lets him be the Flash, then not another reverse Flash?
Because I know this question is going to be answered. I'm going to look up how Wally got his powers, because I don't know. I didn't look it up.
My favorite fucking response to a question on this podcast is frantic typing.
A similar accident from Barry. So again, he was struck by a bolt of lightning and dosed in chemicals like the Flash.
Okay.
So what you're saying is...
It's comic books, it's fine.
It's
So what
comic
you're
books.
saying is Barry doused him in chemicals and flung him around in the lightning.
Tied him to the
I
lightning pole. What
I
I'm
see.
saying.
Okay, if a random concoction of chemicals followed by a specific lightning bolt is the way that he became the Flash, I see no fucking way that it could happen again to someone Barry knew without Barry being involved. I refuse to accept that.
So what you think is Barry made him. What if he made himself as well?
I mean, I'm assuming that you're referencing a comic where he does.
I don't think he does, but I don't know.
Damn it.
That sounds like something that could happen.
Yeah, he went back in time and had sex with his own mum before his own dad.
God, fuck you.
But he did it super fast, so she never knew it was him.
One of the things in like comics is a lot of like it chose you as well. Like there's almost a sentience behind the magic and the fundamental forces in the universe.
You've called it magic, have you?
I mean,
There's a lot of magic in DC, so it could be magic, but it's more of like a fundamental force. So
Hey,
one
guys,
could argue
listen.
that it chose these people.
Is science that is too advanced for us not just a form of magic that we cannot yet understand?
Okay,
Exactly.
Thor. Get back to the first Thor movie. Your fourth one wasn't very good, and
God damn it. Fucking... I had another question, but I'm too floored by this goddamn guy.
does
Yeah.
God too stay in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he has created?
Yeah.
That's the real question.
Is Barry Allen God? Did he create the universe?
I mean, he could be.
No, but there's times where he sat in a god chair. Every fucking superhero in DC has become a god at some point. 'Cause
That's a good point.
There's
There's
old
a lot of
gods,
gods
there's
in
new
DC.
gods, there's not the god is called the presence in the DC universe, but also it's been retconned a few times. So
Let's see.
Delightful. Please continue.
let's continue. So one of the first things Thawne did was travel back in time and kill Barry's mother
Nice.
and frame his father for the killing.
That's pretty good. That's a good crime.
So Barry would always grow up with missing his mother and his father in prison.
I see.
Can Barry Allen go so fast that he can cross comic book timelines and murder Uncle Ben every single fucking time?
He should have.
There's enough
That's a
people
universal
trying to murder Uncle
constant.
Ben. Barry doesn't need to add
That's
to the
true.
list.
That's true. That's true.
That Uncle Ben is the most hunted person in comics.
In the
Man can't
multiverse.
live. Man has a nephew, he's dead.
I love because there's the upcoming fucking Spider-Man movie, and there's the line in the trailer, most of us are here because Uncle Ben died, which is like implies statistical like convergence towards that, which is hilarious because multiverse, infinite universes, maths jokes are fun to me. I've got to shut the fuck up, man.
Also, never thought about like Peter's in every comic. Peter's an orphan, so we never talk about how fucking Peter's parents died too.
I know, right?
Poor Peter's parents. They had no influence on his life at all.
Yeah.
Hey, at least the Andrew Garfield movies gave us something on his parents.
Fuck off those. No, that's the worst shit of all time. Anyway, so yeah, Thawne went back in time and killed Barry's mother and framed his father.
Thor?
Sorry?
Thorn.
Thawne. Or
Thorn.
Eobard or Thawne, yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Say Thorn because you can pronounce Thorn more consistently than you can pronounce Eobard.
Yeah, that's true. Eobard's a fucking shit name. But, he also altered events to create other speedsters that would become the enemies of the Flash, including Zoom and Godspeed. For example, he gave a gun to someone to kill their parent, I believe, to give them powers. And he also like influenced the other person, Godspeed, to become the speedster he was, or he just like it's like a pressing like little, in a weird way, the first domino for an effect that will come down in the future.
It's the Doctor Strange bullshit. I have seen every variation of this universe.
Yeah, kind of like that. I think it's more of like creating every enemy in your past. It's like there's a Doctor Who episode where the person goes back and creates every enemy in their past, and then someone else has to jump in and fix every problem that person creates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
So yeah,
It was a Matt Smith episode. The Great
Probably why I don't remember
Intelligence.
he also saves Barry's children in the future and then uses them and trains them against their father to basically be his enemy as well.
Hell
He
yeah.
grooms Barry's own kids into wanting to kill him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty sick.
Nice.
He also killed his own ancestor in front of her son to scare them, just like he did to Barry. So he's basically trying to make himself like Barry in that situation. The more he can be like Barry, the more he can be closer to his rival and his idol in this scenario.
Does this end with Reverse Flash killing Barry, taking his face, putting his face on his face, and then going to Barry's family like, "Hey kids, I'm home."
And then killing himself because Barry's dead, so he's got to be like Barry.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there has been time in the comics he has impersonated Barry, but no.
Can I also say, fucking...
This is not Face Off. This is not the fucking Nicolas Cage movie.
Sure it's
Can I also say, like, I have an assignment due at midnight, which I haven't finished yet, and it's 8 p.m., and I'm recording a podcast, but also, like, this is self-sabotaging on a whole different level. My God, man.
Well, there's a reason he didn't really like his ancestors. He doesn't really like his family in general.
I don't like my fucking uncle and auntie. It doesn't mean I'm going to fucking murder them. Jesus.
Oh my God. For another thing Thawne did was appear to Barry, going so fast he appeared as a vision to him, telling him that in his future he will run alone forever. And he was going so fast that Barry thought he was like a vision and like was like a thought inside his mind.
That's fucking incredible.
At one point, Barry goes back in time to prevent his mother's death. This created the thing called the Flashpoint event, which kind of destroyed the DC universe.
I've heard about the Flashpoint.
Yeah, it's actually what will be coming up in the Flashpoint movie. It's kind of in the Flash movie, they're basically, the theory is they'll use the Flash movie to reset the DC universe and kind of start again for James Gunn. So the Flashpoint is kind of a thing where they basically when they wanted to be like, oh my God, the comics are too complicated. We want to reset everything. Everything's too gone to shit. They use the Flashpoint. and that kind of reset everything.
I know a couple of series that could use a flashpoint.
Yeah.
So basically, when Barry went back in time, he broke everything. So he saved his mother's life. He stopped Thawne from killing her, but he broke everything. And when he went back to the future, all the heroes were killing each other. For example, Bruce Wayne died instead of Thomas Wayne. There was a war between Atlantis and the Amazons.
Nice.
Superman was taken by the government and never became the superhero.
Nice.
So how they explain that is like these events happened before, but when you change a big point in time, they send ripples through the timeline and changes other events.
Okay. Kind of weird that saving one person doesn't do that, but brainwashing a bunch of kids doesn't do that. No,
Well, that was technically in the
saving one
future.
person does. I mean, okay.
Again, whoever's writing it wants to make the rules work different ways.
Yeah, that's fair. It's whatever.
Yeah, that is a common
But-
thing with comics, isn't it? The next writer comes in and wants to make their own mark on it, sort of thing.
But when he did this, Thawne, and in this comic, Thawne is kind of like there's different scenarios where I think depending on which Flashpoint comic, but he's basically usually killed by Batman.
Nice.
But because he takes the Speed Force into him and kind of runs through time, when Flash goes and fixes the events, lets his mum die, and fixes all the different events through time, restoring the timeline, Thawne was still in the Speed Force between the timelines. So he was not reset when the rest of the universe was.
Oh, wow.
Okay. He became a being outside of time itself, with no future and no past. He became a living paradox, as he calls himself. Meaning he exists in all throughout time, and he cannot die. Even if he did, the negative Speed Force would revive him, or another version of himself from another time slot would replace him. He basically
Sounds like a bad guy to have pissed off by existing.
Exactly. He then used entire existence to cause strife to Barry's life. Now we will get into all the very pettiest things he has done.
I am desperately in love with this as well because Barry has literally done nothing wrong to this guy.
Yep.
He's just a bitch.
Yeah.
The only thing Barry's done is come to the future and then be like, "Hey man, you're not actually a hero," and just staged him up.
Yep.
Also,
He's literally not.
And literally the one time where I think the first time Barry appears in the comic is he's created the scenario where he's supposed to save these people, and when Barry appears into the 25th century, he saves the people, and then Thawne is like, "Those were my people to save, you piece of shit."
That's so fucking funny.
Not on those words, but yeah.
No, in
No,
those
in those
words.
words, yeah.
I could find that in the comic pages, certain of it.
I reckon.
So going through, we're going to now go through a flashpoint of I did that. Guess what I did that? Of different lists of things he's done. Right. So as we've gone through, he killed Barry's mum and framed his dad. We've gone through that. That's the big thing he did to Barry. But he also has killed Barry's wife, and then also killed Barry's second wife.
Nice.
Oh.
He's also attempted to kill Barry's first wife, Iris, who's his main wife, multiple times. He's also, and this is where he doesn't really like his family. He killed his older brother because his parents was more proud of him, and he was the ideal child for them. He also then killed his. He also killed his career rival because he was upstaging him in his career.
Nice.
He then killed every single boyfriend his crush ever had until eventually he was the only person she could even possibly date in their life, and she still rejected him. So he turned her into a vegetable state.
A vegetative state. Oh my god.
He gave her permanent brain damage.
Yeah, a vegetative state, not a vegetable state. What?
Vegetative state. During that Flashpoint event, when Bruce Wayne's dad survived, he wrote a letter to his son to give to the Flash to return to him as a final goodbye and a nice letter that really meant a lot to Bruce. So when the Flash returned to the original timeline, he found the letter and he ripped it up, just to spite Bruce.
Yeah, kind of sick. Kind of like,
Kind of checks out.
God damn.
Now we'll get into the things he did to Barry. This is before he became a kind of living paradox. So he realized he couldn't kill Barry, other it would kind of erase him from existence and erase his powers.
Sorry. Killing Barry's wife doesn't count as something he's done to Barry? What?
This is like things he did in his past, to Barry's past.
Okay, right. So this is before...
Before he became the Flash.
Yeah.
So Barry had a best friend that kind of like was his one kind of best friend. So Thawne erased Barry's best friend from existence so that Barry would grow up alone.
Yeah. Nice. What?
He then caused an electrical fire in Barry's home, so his house would burn down and all his things would get burned.
I see.
He also made Barry think he left the back door open, which made his family dog run out and get hit by a car.
Holy shit!
He also pushed Barry down a flight of stairs. There's a whole comic page where he's like, you felt hands on your back, didn't you? But when you hit the bottom of the stairs and you looked back up, there was no one standing there.
So he's literally just pranked him his entire life. What the fuck?
Sorry, also the concept of a time-warping superhero falling down the stairs is so funny to me. Dude can goddamn stop a tsunami, travel through time, and all this other bullshit, but he can't stop himself from just, like, falling down.
This is before he got his powers, I think.
This is when he's a child.
Oh my god, that's even funnier.
Yeah.
He just pushed a kid
Dude,
down
so
a flight of
petty,
stairs.
he's like, I can't take him on at full power, I'm gonna push him down the stairs as a child!
Yeah, basically.
What if he'd paralyzed him? What if he couldn't walk after that?
He'd probably go back in time and push him slightly less hard.
That's so... Because he needs to have a nemesis. Oh my god.
He was also the actual monster under Barry's bed. He also made Barry drop his books and lose his homework.
He put a sticker on his back that said "Kid me."
And I think this is one of the most the most bullying moments. He moved Barry's arm during a baseball game, so he missed a catch. And the final thing, which is actually fucked up, he threatens one time when they're fighting. He threatens to go back in time and kill Barry's mum again, and then pose as a social worker and raise Barry as his son. Yeah.
Holy shit. I was going to joke and be like, oh yeah, and he like pushed Barry over when he was in high school. But like, man actually did that.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that is so good.
He literally, as the line from the comic goes, because he couldn't kill really or do anything big physical damage to Barry because he couldn't become the Flash. It was me, Barry. So I set upon a different experiment: demoralization. Science has shown that childhood is the most fundamental time for the development of character and personality, and it is the time of the greatest vulnerability. Excellent. Let's test that. The general consensus is that by puberty, many personal trials are set, and often difficult changes later in life. And over this is like the comic book, and this is just photos of him doing the things like pushing him over, making him lose his homework, erasing his best friend, moving his arm in the baseball game. All these things.
So, like, most villains are like, yeah, I'll torture you, I'll cut you up. Most of them don't fucking warp through time to make your childhood shit. What?
Exactly.
Oh my god.
I turned that nat 20 over to a nat 1 and your character died in Dungeons and Dragons.
I dropped that D20 into a glass of water for no
The
reason.
emotional damage was unmeasurable.
I stopped your recording so the podcast would be affected, and you wouldn't be as successful as you could have been. It was me, Barry.
You could have been great, kid.
I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender. Watch On the Waterfront. What a movie.
Yeah, it was the problem with all of us going through the same high school. It's fucking English jokes from year 12, Jesus.
Was
And
that
then
year
one of
12
the
on
best lines.
waterfront?
One of the best lines from The Flash is this:
11.
What if every bad event that ever occurred to you was orchestrated by one person?
I'd kill them.
And that is why the Flash, and I think the Reverse Flash in particular, is the pettiest man alive.
I respect that.
That is so fucking incredible.
But all of this is done because he hates Barry. Yes, of course he hates Barry for all this. But more because he knew his destiny was laid out for him. It was already written. He couldn't change that. But in the end, he chose the yellow suit to be Barry's partner. But if he couldn't be that, he would be Barry's tormentor. Anything just to spend time with his hero.
Oh, that's horrifying.
There's a comic where Barry asks him why and why. He's like, I just wanted to spend time with you.
I wanted you to pay attention to me. Oh
Exactly.
my god. That's so fucked.
It is so fucked. So, that is the Reverse Flash. Eobard Thawne, a piece of shit, and a very funny man.
Fucking incredible, man.
So,
I hope we get this version in the movie. I swear to God.
I agree.
If I don't see the fucking Reverse Flash pushing Barry down the stairs, what is the fucking point?
I legit, that's the one scene I need. I need him pushing a kid down a flight of stairs.
Also, just getting to see Ezra Miller get bullied for an hour or two would be pretty good.
Well, it would be like kid version of Ezra Miller.
Still be Ezra Miller.
Well, have you seen the new Flash trailer? There's 2 Ezra Millers. Double the fun.
I know, just what we fucking need.
Double the Ezra Miller, yeah.
Who needs to? Ezra Miller's already as petty and tormenting as the Reverse Flash,
Yep.
so he's perfect.
True. God damn.
So, do you guys have any arch nemesis? Is that the multiple terminology?
Yeah, I started a podcast with one.
Yeah, Guy, come on.
Yeah, sorry guys. I've been here to torment you the whole time. I'm actually traveling through time to make your childhood worse.
I mean,
I'm the one
Shit,
sabotaging.
That makes
I'm
so
the one
much
sabotaging
sense.
the podcast.
you know what? Actually, I'm gonna take a step back here. Guy and Matt, Guy, you could so be the Reverse Flash to Matt. Like,
Holy
just
shit.
going back in time, sucking his good luck as a child, and just always being there.
I wanna make some context behind this. We've known each other since basically we were born. So
No. Wrongly phrased.
my
I've known
God.
you since you were born.
you're a month
That's
older
a whole
than me.
month, baby.
And our families have always been friends since. So we have done a lot of things together. So literally that Reverse Flash thing could be true.
Could be true. And it also explains why I was 6 foot in year 6. I'm actually like 27.
Just going back in time, like,
Sorry,
they'll
guys.
never know.
I've made a miscalculation. My favorite nemesis is a reverse version of the Reverse Flash, which is the Batman and Joker, where the Joker just repeatedly gets himself into the worst fucking situation, and Batman's like, "No, I mustn't kill him." Like it's tormenting yourself for the hate of another.
Yeah,
Delightful.
that's fair.
Like making there's always that scene in the Batman Begins where he says to Ra'al al Ghul, like, I won't kill you, but I won't save you either. And he lets him fucking die from a train.
Yeah, I fucking love that.
But like in the comics, Batman goes out of his way to save Joker every fucking time.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's great.
He has a thing with Joker, you know?
They have a special thing, to be fair.
They want to fuck.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they wouldn't.
Did we watch different versions of The Dark Knight? Because I remember that scene. I think I downloaded the wrong version, guys.
It's just one little push, you know?
Oh,
All it takes.
fuck you.
Oh, fuck yeah.
One bad day is all between you and me, if you know what I mean. So, Jude, have you got a nemesis?
You really need to stop phrasing it like that, because it just sets up the joke every time of, yeah.
Or a petty person in any fiction?
Do you need more time to think? 'Cause I have another one.
Hit us, guy.
Fucking DC, the Gotham TV series. The main character is Detective Gordon, and he's like friends with Bruce Wayne, but Bruce Wayne's a kid, and every fucking bad guy in the city is so fucking horny to get goddamn Bruce Wayne to do some bullshit for them. The Joker-esque character is just like, yes, this kid is going to be my main guy, and Detective Gordon's like, not this shit again.
Yeah, straight up.
Fucking Ra's al Ghul literally brainwashes him and like turns him into like a pseudo assassin, and he's like, yes.
I've never seen the Gotham show. This sounds interesting.
Really good,
really
actually.
good.
I would,
It's really good.
It sounds like
I
it's
would
just
highly recommend it.
about the fucking Detective Gordon doing all the work
is.
and
He's the
Bruce
main
Wayne being a
character.
child.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
it is.
it. Literally is.
That's sick.
Yeah,
It's really good.
no, that's really cool. And you get a whole bunch of like fun origin stories for characters in Batman and stuff, and it's fun. It's fun.
Non-canonical, and it's one of those shows that like has definitely a line where they're like, all right, let's keep it grounded for like the first season, and then they're like, ah shit, we've got characters like Bane that need to be introduced and Scarecrow, and so it just starts going like directly off the rails, and it's just like, yeah, chemicals can do this.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a lie. Poison Ivy gets introduced in like midway through season 1, and she can immediately warp plants. So
Yeah,
there's magic from the
yeah.
start.
As
But
I said,
like the first season feels like a very grungy cop program for the most part, and it gets gradually crazier, but it's still good.
it'll always go down there. DC are obsessed with chemicals, and Marvel are obsessed with space or some sort of cosmic force that makes them
Yeah.
have their powers. That's how they do it.
I mean,
I can think of a great
like-
one that would be up your alley, Jude.
look, there's always an example to be taken for anything that you can take from Lord of the Rings, you know?
You son of a bitch. I asked Jude
fuck's
for an
sake.
example of an audio thing this afternoon. He's like, look, this scene from Lord of the Rings. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
And it was actually really good.
It was actually really good.
And you know what? I think a pretty petty nemesis character you can look at from Lord of the Rings is Saruman versus Gandalf.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is he? Because I never got why he flipped. He's a wizard. Like, he's chilling. Why did he flip? Did he just
think-
not like Gandalf?
Didn't he just
Kinda.
see he looked at it and went like, fuck, we're going to lose this fight. And wanted them
Yeah,
on his side?
he it depends. There's a lot of fan theories and theory. Tolkien even like hints and suggests maybe there's more to it, sort of thing. It's one of those things that Tolkien toyed around with but never fully confirmed. So there's always the theories of like, Saruman was hoping to join forces with Sauron long enough to overthrow him in secret and stuff like that. But yeah, ultimately Saruman just wanted to take power, and he was a bit mad at Gandalf a lot of the
How
time.
was he
because
petty?
He always...
I mean, he took Gandalf's power and then spun him around by the ankle. That's pretty petty.
That's cool.
I mean, he toyed with Gandalf repeatedly, like, come on, and then like tried to bring the mountain down on them and stuff, and I don't know.
I wouldn't call that petty. I'd call that good strategy.
Okay.
I mean,
You
they're
know-
just
you
kind
know
of a
who is
wizard
petty?
rivalry. They're just kind of bitches. They could just straight up kill each other.
That's what I mean, like...
Oh, I think this is more like a great ally if he manages to turn him on his side, you know?
Yeah.
He's not gonna
you know-
do
you know
that.
who's-
Why would you?
Right up your alley, Jude. I'm surprised you mentioned it. In Doctor Who, the Master and the Doctor. Now that's a petty boy.
That is true. That is true. That is very,
Also,
very true.
Davros is a little petty as well.
Yeah. I would say the Master and the Doctor is more like rivalry than nemesis, whereas Davros is kind of more of a nemesis if we go back to classic Who. But yeah,
I like that the Master always just wanted the partner and kind of wanted to prove himself and be better. But
Yeah. he just
I
wanted
think-
one time to be better.
I think
I
that's
think
very
a-
similar to the Reverse Flash in that situation.
Nice.
That's fair.
I think a good example of a reverse nemesis for me, where the main character is the nemesis of the other guy, is Sherlock Holmes. This random bitch detective keeps coming for Moriarty, who's like an international crime lord, and this like high off his nuts random detective. I'm specifically referencing the fucking Robert Downey Jr. movies as my like present in my brain example. But like, dude is like international billionaire super criminal. This other guy is fucking high off his nuts and is just like running around being a bitch and like completely destroys his empire. And at the very end of it is just like, he's like, how could you kill me? You can't even do anything. And then he's just like, hey, what if I just throw us both off this cliff? Checkmate, bitch.
Discombobulate.
Discombobulate. That's the fucking best fucking movie ever.
It's a classic. I do appreciate it. The next time I watch it, I appreciate it a little more.
I met someone who liked Doctor Who the other day, but had never seen the movies. I was very disappointed.
Well,
Never the what?
They liked Sherlock Holmes.
Okay,
As in they had
you
watched.
said Doctor Who.
Sorry, my bad. They like Sherlock Holmes, but they'd never seen the movies.
Damn, that's impressive.
Very
I like the
confusing.
movies. I think they're underrated. But that has been us, Living by the Law. Thank you for this. We're trying out some shorter episodes to see how we like them. Some kind of like character deep dives or idea deep dives. So
Trying to appeal to someone outside the 3-hour episode audience.
I mean, our Call of Duty episode is still our most popular episode. So
you're not wrong.
people-
I think it's just
the
the Call of
people
Duty
have
fans are
made
fanatics.
their opinion very clear.
They're fanatics.
Those episodes.
I love Call of Duty fans. You're our best. And our Irish viewers love them.
Yeah, keep.
I thought you said Irish viewers. Irish. Yes.
Yeah,
And you know what? Just because our Baltic viewers, let's go with the Baltics.
the Baltics.
And
Shout
the
out to the...
Peruvians out there. Love the
Hey,
Peruvians.
this one's for the Swedes.
Love those.
This
Swedes.
one's for the Kiwis. You know who you are.
This one's for the Bangladeshi. Love that. This one's for the Mongolians.
This one's
we have
for
a Mongolian
everyone.
this
Thank
one?
you.
I don't know. I have no clue. If we have
I thought
one-
you had the list in front of you and you were looking at it.
I have no list in front of me.
That's funnier.
That's me just guessing random countries.
Well, if you are from any of these countries or other countries on Earth or in space, you can find us at Living by the Law on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you find your podcasts. Of course,
I'd
you
hope
probably
they
found
already
us
know
now.
that if they're listening to this episode, Matthew.
But
They might have found us on TikTok. You don't know.
you can also find us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The Twitter's not very active. The TikTok is the most active right now, so get on there, get liking, get following. And we appreciate everyone who supports us. The biggest way you can support this podcast is liking, give us a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify, and or just telling your friends. Tell your friends about it. Listen with
Word of mouth,
them.
baby.
Listen with them or tell them. It's a good podcast. If you're at this point, it must be a good podcast. Or you've fallen asleep or left us on the background, which is fair
Trick
enough.
your friends into having a sleepover. Put it on while they're asleep, and then they'll subconsciously want to listen to us.
Scar them for life with that one. I've done that. It's a
We're
good strategy.
really great to listen to go to sleep, just saying.
We're not quiet. We're not loud at all.
No, we're not.
We
We're
got
actually
those
a very
soothing
calming, sort of...
And if you are listening to this,
Did you fall asleep mid-sentence?
Jude's voice does that to me. And if you are listening to this and falling asleep, I hope you have wonderful dreams and good night.
I'm gonna edit like the biggest air horn sound right there.
Well, you guys didn't do the good morning or good afternoon. What the fuck,
Well,
guys?
because you're putting someone to bed.
Oh,
Is he
did
killing
you guys know that it? Did you guys know that in the Sherlock Holmes books, there's one point where Sherlock Holmes effortlessly unbends like a metal crowbar, and then he never shows that he has super strength ever again.
Go crazy, Sherlock.
Man has super strength in one line and then never uses it again. It's crazy. Read those books.
My
Maybe he
detective
just-
skills has failed me. I must now beat your ass.
I love my answers. Shout out to my answers, Arthur Conan Doyle. Woo!
Let's go.
Yeah. Bye.
But you already. This is the fade out. We're already in the fade out.
I never edit a fade out. I just let it be us awkwardly talking until Matt's outro begins, which is gonna start right now.
Thank you for listening to Living by the Law. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave a review on iTunes and tell your friends. The link is in the description, and thank you in advance. Also, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Living by the Law to keep updated on the latest about our podcast. We have been, and always will be, Living by the Law. Thank you for your company, and good night.